What's good, everybody? This is Mr. Composition MC that writes fiction. And this is another episode of The Composition. And today is day 6, so it's the last day of the week as far as legitly. And as far as the podcast, because I do them 6 days out of the week. Sunday, take a break. So we have another week completed, and man, what an interesting week it's been. So a lot of good things. So I got my first t-shirt sale. Shout out to them. Teespring, I haven't found out how to see who actually purchased it, but I did see that it was one, and yeah, thank you. It was Conquer Your Mind, Conquer the Day t-shirt. So that's super legit. Shout out to them. What else? Got some projects, taken care of. Got a little further in organization. Lots of little realizations that was going on. The start of this week, we had Mars going retrograde. And so definitely this week was interesting as far as checking myself. Checking myself because it's so easy to get caught up in what doesn't matter or what doesn't exist, you know. So that was a lot of what I was going through and how I was able to do that and what was on the other side of figuring out how to do that. For me, I like reading, so learning stuff that is new, but also just doing a lot of the back end and work that usually procrastinate on. Like being consistent with this podcast has definitely helped me with being consistent in other places and being able to deliver the podcast, even if I'm not at my house. So just on the travel, be able to still be able to deliver these podcasts. So when I'm out and about in Europe or in other places, there's no excuse why, I'm not dropping these podcasts just so y'all know what's going on. So that's one of the cool things that I've been realizing with everything that's going on is that, there is, and if my voice sounds a little weird, it's because I'm high, and also I'm holding the microphone directly, like I'm holding it. Normally, I'm not holding it. I like the idea of holding it because, like, most stuff, aka Yasin Bey, like if you've seen more of his more recent stuff, he has this dope like handheld mic, and I'm just all like, man, that shit is fucking cool. Um, but yeah, Saturday, September 12th. How's y'all's week been? I know it's been a roller coaster of sorts for some, and to others, it's just been business as usual. But if it hasn't been usual, I definitely want to hear about it. But yeah, one of the things that I want to look forward to next week is so releasing the podcast. All right, so far that seems to be like there. That's pretty much getting into habit forming mode where I'm at least releasing it every day. Where I fall at is putting it on Facebook, putting it on a couple of other platforms, basically announcing, that it's out. That's where the consistency falls within that. So figuring out how to be more consistent with that would be dope. Um, Still with the communication, just being quicker on that and also reaching out as well. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? And just being innovative, like dropping more videos, just I realize there's a lot of information that I know when it comes to health and wellness that I should be applying, but also given to people. People hear things like sea moss, and they hear omega 3s, they hear these different things, but what does it actually mean? And being able to present it in a way where people can actually be like, oh, this really is important. This is super freaking important. So it's very interesting. Very interesting, these particular times, because man, when I really sit there and think about the idea of progression and what it means to actually progress, and just progression as a human day to day, there's this week was cool because I seen some increase in everything. Increase as far as the Spotify or the podcast, as far as in listenership. And if you don't know this, Anchor does pay podcasters. You get money. So right now, I've made it through the threshold of $1, and to me, that is very an important milestone. And what that shows me is that, I mean, that was from zero. That was from zero. And the thing is that it would have actually been more, but I didn't turn on that. I thought I had it on, but I had to actually record a sponsor ad. So for those that get on Anchor and you set up, just because you put, ad, you still have to actually record the ad, and then it adds on top of those with other people's stuff. So I didn't know that until like a little bit into this challenge. So I've only just recently started accumulating from it. So with building up the listenership, because right now I think I have about an average of about 10 people. Yeah, that sounds about right. So, yeah, I'm still, as you can see, that lack of consistency as far as, you know, actually letting people know and announcing it, that's not consistent, So, working on that, I feel like that's going to bring up the listenership. Being able to see a t-shirt sale, be able to get, other sales with CBD and different things like that. Just during this time, I just want to switch things up. I was focused so much for the good part of this decade, honestly, on shows. On freaking shows, to be at a point right now where that shit can't even do them right now. And now it's just being like, okay, this is reality. Now you can um, now I'm able to just do a lot with what I want to do, because I've been I feel so grateful that I've been able to do this for over 3 years and not have to go back to working a job, and now at this point I'm all like, oh, now focusing on this, hey, I'm gonna be able to build up and have this particular income that's coming in from the Spotify or stream sales or podcasts and stuff that I already do, that I do at high levels, and be able to have more attention towards the stuff that I really want to be doing, and being able to hire for a lot of the other stuff, because I realize I'm just all like, I create a bunch of different things and pretty much have templates. I don't need to be in control of all of those. Like, no, I don't. That's not even why I do it, But it doesn't mean that it doesn't need to exist, That's why things like licensing is very important. Because with licensing, you can license out your name, your templates, your, songs, your art for a duration of time and still retain your ownership. Like, that's dope. That's dope as fuck. So, just getting smarter and focusing on the things that are actually like, yeah, that's important. How do you get your viewership up or your listenership up to where you're getting paid minimum wage? Like at the start, just on your streams, like that's amazing. That is amazing. Because the artist that I read, this person wasn't even doing shows or merch. This was just off understanding how Spotify's playlists and different things like that work. And that's what I've noticed a lot too. A lot of these things, they work, they just require you to work for a period, like consistently. You can't do it once and be like, oh, doesn't work. Can't do it twice and do that. You have to do it over a course of time and really understand what's going on. But I think that's going to be it for today, guys. I hope y'all enjoy y'all Saturday. And make sure if you're listening to this on Anchor, drop a little message so that way I can get it and put it in the podcast. If you're listening to this on YouTube, make sure you like and subscribe. And if you're listening to this on your favorite podcast platform, then make sure to add it to your playlist, The Composition. Alright, guys, this is Mr. Composition MC that writes fiction. And this is another episode of The Composition. Make sure to hit the description for ways that you can support. I'd very appreciate it. Alrighty, peace.